What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And it's like 2 days after, the Monday after North Star Speed Summit, and I figured I would record a small video and figure out what happened with my wastegate. So if you guys watched the last video or was at the track, we ended up having an issue with my wastegate. Was not regulating the boost and kept wanting to just go to the moon. We put in a manual boost controller. We put it on just on gate. I mean, we tried everything, and my gate just wanted to boost to the moon. And then we took the red Tial wastegate off of Brad's Civic, put it on my car, ran it on gate pressure, and it went through all 4 gears. Never hit boost cut, never had a problem. We hooked my controller, my electronic controller, back up from my boost solenoid, and it made 24 pounds, and it held it, and it did what it was supposed to do. So then that told us, okay, I have a problem with my wastegate. So we're gonna take this thing apart, and we're gonna see if the diaphragm tore inside it or what's going on, because visually on the outside, you know, obviously I don't see any issues. So whatever is going on is internal. So I'll go ahead and pull these Allen bolts out of here, and we'll see what the heck is going on. Okay, well, we still had 2 springs in here. I don't really know what that means, but and I dropped you guys on the floor. Okay, so apparently there are 2 springs in here. I have to look at the chart again and see how much boost this actually is, because I have no idea. Was that blue and, I don't know, bronze or something? But, I mean, I guess I don't know exactly how this thing's supposed to even work. Like, how do you tell if this thing's torn? I mean, it looks fine. I guess I'll have to maybe go around it and just do a thorough inspection. I think there's some Allen screws here. Maybe I can just pull it apart and see if something on the bottom side is blown out or something. Probably do that. I'll see if I can figure out what size this is, and we'll tear it down. Really on there. Well, I don't see anything torn. Looks to be intact to me. You know, like there's nothing ripped on here. Okay. So that seems to be fine. It's a valve. That's all there is to this thing? Okay, so the valve looks fine. Diaphragm looks fine. And there's really nothing else to this.
Just a few screws here that hold the body down. That's about it. Maybe I should take this off quick. Let's see if there's anything visibly noticeable that's like, I don't know. I almost think I have to put it back together and find a way to test it. I don't know if we can hook air to it and try to get it to do its thing. Beats me. I don't know. I'm gonna reassemble and Google it, I guess. There's gotta be a way to test these things, right? So Tial actually makes a video on static bench testing a wastegate, and I don't know if my ghetto setup's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. So I do have a regulator on my tank. So they said to have your shop supply air like 60 psi and then regulate it to 30. Well, that's a little higher than 60, but I'm just gonna turn this very slow because it should only take like 11 psi to open this up if I did my spring checking right. Either way, it shouldn't take a lot of air to get this to actuate, and I want to see if it moves. So I just zip tied that, put a hose on there, put a hose up to here, and we're gonna have some shop air and we're gonna see if this thing moves. So here we go. Start adding a little bit of air and we'll see if this thing moves at all. Can't tell. Has it moved? Hold on, I need a tripod. Where's the tripod? Get over here. Okay guys, so I just shut the camera off, tried this, and figured out what I was doing, and now I'm going to show you my science experiment. So, like I said, we have shop regulated air coming to the wastegate. Again, Tial has a video on this on YouTube, but so we got our regulated air coming here. This should open roughly around 11 psi. So I'm currently turning the valve. We're about 5 psi right now. Slowly increase. Any second now you should see the valve open. Boom. Just like that. Get you back over here. You can see the valve went down. I relieved pressure off of it. There the valve came back up. Down. Up. Down. Up. And we are, oh, looking at the wrong one, right here. So, I mean, it's hard to tell exactly what those increments are. Let's see, it probably goes in 10, 20, I don't know, what are those, 5s maybe? No. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I think it's increments of 5, 10. Roughly. So, I mean, yeah, we're right around 10 psi. So once I go up to about 11, it opens up. Which doesn't really help me at all, because now I can't find anything wrong with the wastegate, because it seems to be working fine. Everything checked out, nothing looked broken, and the valve moves when it's supposed to. So why was it boosting to the moon, and why when we swapped wastegates did we not have a problem? That's what I don't understand. I mean, was
Or was the valve stuck? Maybe the valve stuck or something? I have no idea. Now I'm scratching my head. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody watching this has any ideas, put it down in the comments below. Because I can't seem to find anything wrong with the wastegate now. Might almost be one of those things where I have to call, like, email Tial support. Or something. I don't know. Maybe scrounge the internet myself trying to find the answer. But as far as my science goes, this thing seems to be working. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so I felt some air and I thought, well, you know, let's dump some soap on here. See if we can figure out where the air's coming from. And there, we can see, well, kinda. I can get the camera in the right spot here. We've got some air bubbles coming out of this, and I just tightened this up, and it's still got air coming out of the fitting here. So maybe I have a bad, maybe this is, something's bad here, possibly. Thought maybe it was leaking on the body itself, but I don't see any air bubbles coming off of that. According to Tial, hearing air come through the stem in here is normal. They said not to exceed 2 bar. Well, I have it at 2 bar right now. Actually, no, I don't. I lied. But we're about out of air, so it closed the valve. But at 2 bar, the valve was out, all the way open. And yes, I could hear the air coming past the stem, but Tial says that's normal. It's designed that way. But I did have air leaking around this fitting here. So I don't know if maybe, yeah, I still don't think that was our issue. I mean, it could have been, maybe if air was leaking here and not fully opening the valve, which caused a spike in boost pressure, possibly. I don't know. I'd have to obviously put more air in there, but I don't know if this, maybe that could have been the problem. Maybe I should inspect all these parts, make sure they're good. But other than that, guys, I can't find anything wrong with this.
Several days later.
Okay, guys, so it's a week after I filmed that last clip. I emailed Tial and I talked to them, and we kind of went over, they asked me how it was routed, what springs I was running, what springs Brad was running, etc., all the questions. I told them everything that we did, and they're kind of confused on why the gate wasn't working. So they told me just to try running the same gate that Brad has in mine, and see if that fixes our problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the top off of mine again and go back down to a single spring, because I believe after watching Unified's video when they put Brad's gate together, they put a black spring in this. But I also think, just so I'm sure, I'm gonna pull the cover off of Brad's as well and just verify what spring he has, compare it to mine, make sure they're the same, put them back together, and then I'll bring this back to Brad, and then I'll put mine back on my car, and we'll hope for the best and hope that it works. Because otherwise, Tial said if you do that and it doesn't work, they'll let them know, and then we'll try to diagnose this thing deeper and try to figure out why this thing would not let us control the boost. So, all right, so hopefully, I asked Brad if they ever changed the springs after that video, and he said he doesn't remember, but he doesn't think so either. So there should only be one spring in here, which I believe is roughly, I don't know, it's like a, oh, these bolts aren't really that tight, are they? These things really weren't that tight. I think it's starting to rattle loose. We'll loosen these up, pull these and see what spring he's running, and then compare it to mine. And that way we're just sure. I thought about just fixing mine without pulling this apart, but And there'll always be that wonder, okay, well, do we have the same spring or do we not have the same spring? Should roughly be, I can't remember what it is. It's not a lot. It's like a 7-pound spring or something. Maybe it was 7 bar. Pressing down on that with my hand does not feel so hot. Okay, so looking at Brad's, I probably should have tried. Well, I got it on film. I got to remember too that cover was sitting on there. Yeah, looks like same spring I have in mine, except I have mine times 2. So I'll go ahead and get mine torn apart now, and then we can compare the springs. Oh. Yeah, so there's blue. This, I'm assuming, is black, even though it's painted like shit. There's definitely black paint on there. You know, we compare it to Brad's here. You know, his has black paint on it. Looks like the same. I don't know, mine's maybe just a touch bit taller, but it looks like the same spring to me. Right? Yeah, it's the same spring. Oh, that's Brad's. This is mine. That should be easier to put together with one spring versus 2, but yeah, that was definitely blue. So now they're identical in theory. It should work correctly. I don't get why mine, unless it's because I had my diaphragm out, that it lifts up so easy like that, or I guess his does too. Yeah, I just had mine out, which is probably why it comes up even easier. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and put it back together. Okay, so I've got both gates back together. Tial recommends that you check operation after anytime you change a spring or whatever, or open them up. I'm gonna bench test. I'm gonna start with mine again. And I'm gonna bench test it and see when the valve opens. Now it should be, according to the MVR chart, this should open, oops, roughly like, it's not a lot of boost, or not a lot of PSI. It's like 5 to 7 or something like that. See if I can get this set up so you guys can actually see the valve move. So here we've got it sitting there. I will introduce air very slowly, not to exceed 2 bar. Shouldn't take much and this thing should open. There it goes. So yeah, I mean, it took like half a bar roughly for that thing to start opening, you know, and of course we increase pressure, the valve opens further. So it is operating as it should. So we'll go from that on mine and we'll compare the reading to Brad's, because in theory, the same spring, this should open at the same time, same pressure. So I'm gonna slowly open his up. And there it starts moving. There's his started opening. That's roughly the same spot, about half a bar or so of air. Release pressure, his valve closes. So they're both working the same. They both open at basically the same PSI. So in theory, they should both be the same now, and we shouldn't have any problems. Hopefully we don't have boost problems with mine. Brad's is back together. We verified the springs. I can return this to him now, and we can hope that mine can actually control boost. So with that, guys, I'm probably going to close out the video now, because, well, there's not much else I can do at the exact moment. Got some more parts coming for the car to fix some other things, which will be in the next video. But as far as this video goes, it's pretty much all I can do. I'm not exactly sure which event or which day I'll get back to the track to test this out, but it'll definitely be here, hopefully sooner than later. But hopefully you guys learned something about testing these things and what the insides look like and found it interesting. I did. I actually learned quite a bit in this process and talking with Tial. Big shout out to Tial Sport, because their customer service or their tech support was awesome. I mean, I sent an email, they got back to me immediately. A lot of companies these days, you don't see that. You know, it'll be a day or two before you hear something if you're lucky. They got back to me right away, and they're just curious why my gate wasn't holding boost pressure or regulating it, you know, just as much as I am. So big shout out to Tial Sport. But yeah, so that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up, comment down below, tell your friends, hit the like, subscribe, the whole thing. Anyways, see you in the next one. Peace.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away.
Ah!
You're a geek.
What's this? Yeah, Pokemans.